Welcome to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, a homeschool mom, entrepreneur, and educator with over 20 years of experience in the areas of elementary and special education. It's my mission to help you create lifelong learners and embrace a holistic approach to education at home. I'll be sharing practical strategies, inspiration, and resources to support your family. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, a business owner, or balancing work and homeschool, you're in the right place to connect with a community that values education just as much as you do. Join us each week as we ditch the stress, embrace the joy of learning, and set your family up for a lifetime of success. Hey, friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Home Education with Ease podcast. I'm your host, Christine Furman, your home education expert. Last week, we talked all about grieving the younger versions or the younger stages of our kids. And that one really was emotional for me to look back at the old pictures and videos and hear their sweet little voices and see their little feet and hands. And now as they are growing and learning and becoming young ladies and gentlemen, those stages are changing. And there's a lot of things that are changing, but it is still beautiful. I grieve the time that they were little, but I love who they are becoming. They are becoming kind, independent, confident kids. And I am so proud of them every single day. And when I tuck them in at night, I tell them that I'm so proud of you and I love you and great job today. And all of the things, I fill their heads with positivity right before they go to bed. And sometimes they'll say thank you when I say I'm so proud of you. And sometimes they'll say for what? And I give them a reason. Why? Why am I proud of you? I'm proud of you for the way that you helped out clean the kitchen today. Or I'm proud of you for the way that you interacted with your sister or your brother. I'm proud of you for the way that you completed your work today. I'm proud of all those moments. And of course, there are going to be moments of trial and challenge and all of those difficult moments that we all encounter. But we want them to remember the positive moments, the moments that are going to last. I loved that you came in the kitchen and you helped me cook dinner today. Like those are the moments, right? So it is going to change, right? From the time that they were little, I just loved playing with them and loved interacting with them. And now it's different. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How is it different as the stages, as they grow up, right? As the stages change, how do we interact with them differently? Because yeah, of course, when they were younger, it was easy to grab their Barbies or their superhero figures or the blocks and say, hey, let's play together. Or they went into the playroom and found something to play and they were able to play independently, or you came in and played with them, right? But now we're getting to that stage of there's not as many toys, right? So it's summertime, right? And they're asking, well, what do we do? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good question because you don't have as many toys, right? Alex still has some cars and Legos, things like that. He's now into hockey cards. We're big Pittsburgh Penguin fans, so he's into that. And Ella is into her dog business and all things related to dogs, in addition to sewing and really creating a brand and a vision for what she wants for her life, right? So they're just into these bigger things. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So I want you to, wherever you are, I want you to join the Home Education with Ease Facebook group. And if you're in there, I want you to answer this question. 1, how old are your kids? What are some activities that you enjoy doing with them? And what are some activities they enjoy doing independently? So let's start talking about that. What does this look like? Of course, we're getting into summertime. They're off of school typically, right? Or if you homeschool, maybe you're doing some education, some, keeping skills fresh. Maybe they're going to camp. My kids just finished up church camp that was a 9 to 3:30, Monday through Thursday. They were spent. by the time that they came home. And then Friday, I was like, just chill. And they almost didn't even know what to do yesterday because of that. And they were like, what do I do today? Like, can I get on the Wii? That was Alex's first question at 9:30 in the morning. And I was like, absolutely not. So that's something that I feel strongly about, our screen times as well. So how are we having an engaging summer with them, interacting with them, able to do what we need to do, whether that's work, whether that's plan, whether that's just take a break, and how are we keeping them off screens all day? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So many ideas, so many activities that I have just in my brain that I can't wait to share with you. But I would love to interact and connect with you in the Facebook group. So again, get into that Home Education with Ease Facebook group. The link is in the show notes, and let me know how old your kiddos are, what activities they are into, and it's summertime. Let's talk about it. Do you have ideas and activities for the summer? Or are you like, what are we going to do all summer? What are we going to do? So let's talk about that. One, the first thing that you can definitely look into are camps. Now, I know that camps fill up and they start registration in like February and March. Me, I'm a slow, I'm not a slow learner, but slow to prepare and get my events out there. So I posted my event a couple weeks ago, right? So all the last minute mamas that were like, well, I didn't plan anything for the summer. Sometimes you'll find people like me and be able to find some easy activities, maybe not a full camp, but maybe just, an hour here, an hour there, some meetups, some different things like that. So camps are something, there's positives and pros to these, right? Or positives and negatives, pros and cons. Because it's a great way to get the kiddos doing something for the day, right? So they are enjoying camp. Ours was a church camp, and they're growing in faith. They're having field activities. They had water day. They're doing all these fun activities. Here's the con. Now my schedule's disrupted, right? Our schedule is very low key, and I don't have to get up early and get to somewhere at a specific time. That was a change. To be honest, I wasn't able to work out like I normally do. I got up, I did my devotions, and I was like, okay, I have a choice. Am I going to work out or am I going to go for a walk? And I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. And I would go for my walk, and then I would get myself ready so I can get them ready for camp. But I felt like the schedule was a little bit rushed in the morning. Could I have woken up early? Yes, definitely. But I didn't feel like I could do both. Sure, could I have done it after they went to camp? Yes. But I felt like that was the time that I was like, I need to work uninterrupted on projects that I have going on, right? So that's where my focus went to when they were at camp. So that was a little bit of interrupted time in the morning. And then I would have to leave, around 2:45, somewhere in there, to go get them. So again, interrupting the flow of my workday. Not a problem. They loved it. I had some uninterrupted time, but it does go fast, right? The time goes fast. It's like, oh my goodness, it's time to go get them. And so that kind of interrupted the schedule, but they had a great time. And when they came home, they were spent. So that's something that you can consider. And maybe it's too late to sign up for camps this year. But like I said, maybe there's vacation Bible schools that you can sign up for. Maybe there's some just random one day or a couple hours, things like that. So that's one opportunity for the kids to do something and not just be home all the time. The other thing is, how are we interacting with them then? So my kids, when they came home from camp, they were tired. And I said, go ahead, chill out on the couch. I know you've been working all day or have been interacting, maybe not working, right? But have been interacting all day. Go ahead, just relax and chill. But then yesterday on Friday, the day that they didn't have camp, they were like, what do we do? What? And I was like, oh, this is a good question. And I had other moms asking this recently of saying they don't have the toys like they used to. So it's not like, go ahead, go in the playroom and go play, because they're not playing with blocks. maybe Magna-Tiles, depending on the ages of your kids. Magna-Tiles are kind of one of those toys that you can keep for a little while because they still are fun. So that may be something. Legos are always something that is a good thing for everyone. Puzzles. So start thinking about things that they can create. I know that as I have been cleaning up the Edu Playroom here, I started finding these different crafts. And I was like, wow, we've not done these. I have all these grand ideas that we're going to craft together weekly. We're going to do all these things, right? And as I go through it, I'm like, man, we never got to this. So do you guys remember the little beads? They're like tube beads, and you put them on a tray that has like pegs on it, and then you iron over it. I don't even know what they're called, but I remember them as a kid, and I think Ella got them as a birthday gift. But when she got them, I was so excited because it definitely brought back memories of my childhood. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to do this with you. And we haven't done it. I even bought ones for Christmas that I was like, oh, we've got Christmas break. We'll do them over Christmas break. We didn't do them then either. So that is one of the projects that I am going to be intentional with my time and say, hey, you know what? We have 15 to 20 minutes. Let's sit down together. So that is going to be a big part of the transition now. Instead of playing together, we are going to be creating together, and we're going to be doing things with them. So maybe it's something that they enjoy doing, right? If Alex is building Legos, I should probably go in there and even take 15, 20 minutes and say, hey, let's build together. What are you creating? Let me create something with you. One, it's good for us. I know that when I take a break and I go work on the puzzle, sometimes we have puzzles on the dining room table that are just kind of there. We all work on it, occasionally. And I remember being so bogged down with different projects and work tasks. And I went downstairs and I was like, oh, this is exactly what my brain needed. It needed a brain break. Our kids get brain breaks all the time, right? We work with them and then we say, oh, let's take a brain break. We need it too. We need to get up from our desks. We need to be moving around. I have some kettlebells here. I do not use them as often as I should, but I have kettlebells right underneath my desk, and I need to start getting up every 60 to 90 minutes and using them. They're here. I don't even have to go anywhere. Just getting up and moving. And getting up and moving while you're answering messages, right? Those brain breaks. Sorry, that was a little tangent on how we can stay fresh, but how also we can incorporate our kids into things. So that's where the puzzle comes in. That's where the Legos come in. Ella is big into sewing now. And full disclosure, I'm a terrible sewer. That's just not one of my strong suits at all. I even had her sew a dress for me, and she did phenomenal. And I was like, Ella, hey, this seam came out of this dress. She's like, I got you, Mom. And she sewed it. That's what we want. We want to be able to live in a home with that peace and ease, full of joy, removing the tension. Of course, there are going to be days of tension. Of course, there are days when people are just off in a bad mood, didn't sleep well, didn't eat the right food, whatever it is. I know that happens for me, and I had a day like that yesterday where I was just crabby. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm acting this way. I do not know why I'm snippy, and I apologize. Please, I need some grace today, And I started praying myself up. I started feeling better, okay? So sometimes we're just going to have off days. It's just going to happen. And we need to have grace, and we need to know what are some of those activities that we can kind of get ourselves out of that funk, and our kids. Think about that too. They're going to have off days. So what does that look like? Is that saying, okay, you know what? Why don't you just go read for a little bit? Or why don't you, see what you can create? Not really directing them or telling them what to do, but giving them some ideas and suggestions, right? Because sometimes if You tell them, they're like, I don't want to do that. And that's not the point. The point is, I want you just to take some time for yourself. So I remember I used to do this when the kids were little, and it probably could still work. But if they were kind of at each other or bickering or something was just not, it was just off, I would say, you know what? Everyone just get the puzzles out and just start building. Now we had those like cardboard board floor puzzles. And I'm like, just make some puzzles for me. And it instantly stopped the bickering. And then they started creating and they started using their brain in a different way. And it helped big time. So you can think of that now like, hey, you know what? And maybe it's doing it together. Saying, you know what? Why don't we play a game together? I know that has helped us where, and that's it. That's the difference. Instead of playing with toys, it's playing a game. It's creating. It's doing something together. And one day I thought of like, what are we going to do? How are we going to spend some time together? And they were like, because I finished up a call. I had maybe a half an hour before the next call. And they're like, Mom, can we play Uno? And I was like, absolutely. I needed a break and they needed quality time with me. And that's exactly what they got. And it was just so wonderful to have that interaction, the opportunity to have conversations and say, hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing? What have you been doing while I've been working? Because now we're in that stage of they can do things independently while I can be working independently, or while I can be working, right? So how do we keep them off the screens? Let's talk about that a little bit. It's probably very different in a lot of homes, but I know in our home, I do not allow screens early in the morning. I've talked about this on previous podcasts before, and I saw instantly when my kids would be on a screen in the morning, even if it was a TV show, they would start bickering, and their just behavior and demeanor was terrible. And I was like, guys, something has got to change. Like what's going on this morning? I was like, what is different this morning than every other morning? And I think that was key. It's helping them to recognize what the difference is. Not you telling them thinking about the situation, thinking about the day and being like, oh, I don't normally start the day watching a show or getting on the tablet or, right, playing a video game. It's different. It triggers the brain differently. I'm going to have to do a whole deep dive on like what it actually is doing to the brain because it is fascinating to me. All right. So in our home, and like I said, Alex yesterday morning, Mom, can I play the Wii? And I was like, no, buddy, you can't. So here are the chores that need done. Here are the things that you need to do throughout the day, right? And I only gave them their laundry that needed to be washed and folded, right? They needed to do their laundry, and they have a retainer and they have exercises that they have to do. I really think that was it. Like it was a very low-key day yesterday, and I kind of let them be. Like those are the tasks that you have to do. Go ahead. When you do your laundry, you can watch a show while you fold the laundry. And then after all of that is done, you can play on the Wii for a little bit. That was it. And this was like more in the afternoon as we kind of got into the day a little bit. So sure enough, I found Alex playing with his cars. He set up a whole track and he started racing his cars. He found a dartboard game that he got for Christmas, and we pulled it out and hung it up and we started playing darts. He started looking up hockey cards and how much are they worth and which ones can he sell. So if I would have said, yes, go ahead and get on the video game right away, none of that would have happened. He would have been zoned out. I would have got into my work. Hours would have went by and he would have just been on the video game, and I would have not been paying attention to the hours and the time. And then 2 hours go by and I'm like, wait a second, why were you on the video game that long? Because that's how quick and easy it happens, right? So by giving them just a pause, by not saying, no, you can't do it, but not right now. And what needs done first? Is that schoolwork? Is that a chore? is that the dishwasher or vacuuming or cleaning your room, like this needs done first. First you do this and then you can do this. And in Alex's case, it was first you have to do your laundry. And then when that is all done, you can play the video game. So for Ella, she has been, like I said, creating and sewing and coming up with different games and ideas and writing books, reading. She reads chapter books like crazy. I just bought her a new chapter book and she's like, I'm done with this one already. And I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. I guess I'll find you a new one, right? But allowing them that time to be creative, to say, go ahead, you have stuff in your room, go figure that out. So that's the independent part of it and the independent play. And then bringing them alongside you. So now how are we interacting with them? Because we went to the pool yesterday and I said to them, how can I play with you now? Because when we got to the pool, there are toddlers there, there's preschoolers. I'm all like in my glory, right? That's what I want to see. I want to play with the babies. I want to hold them. I want to make them laugh and smile. That is my jam for sure. And so I did that when I got there. And then I was like, how do I play with you? I can't lift you up and throw you like daddy can, but I can swim with you. Most of the time I sit on the chair and I feel like, oh, I'm tapped out from the day. I need to just sit and I just need to read my book or zone out, right? I don't want to do that though. Yes, there are going to be days that I want to do that, but really, I don't want to look back at this season and say, oh man, I missed out again. I didn't miss out in the beginning, but I felt like I did. I want to soak up every single minute, every single snuggle. So many of you shared what were those moments that you missed the most. Snuggles, playing. It's so true. Holding their hand. Yes, yes, and yes. I miss it. I miss just snuggling on the couch. And trust me, every minute that I have, I am soaking it up. Because I don't want to look back and say, oh, I wish I would have spent more time. I wish I wasn't so busy. And there are times that I feel guilty. I feel guilty for working so hard and creating all of these different things. And Ella said, Mom, we know. We know you have to work. It's okay. We understand. And that definitely helped because I was like, yeah, and I'm not working all day, or I'm working for the most of the day. But then in the evening, I turn it all off and I say, you know what? You are the priority. Let's go to the pool. Let's make dinner together. So now it's how are we doing things together? Before, I'd make dinner and they would be playing, right? Or they would be in their own kitchen. Most of the time they were in the kitchen with me, but now, and I remember just a week ago, they helped me in the kitchen. I said, hey guys, can you guys help me cut the vegetables or make salt or make guacamole or whatever, right? Whatever we were doing. And they came in, no problem. And here they go. They start cutting the vegetables, making the guacamole, whatever we needed for dinner that night. And I just paused for a moment and I said, guys, right here, this is exactly what I love. I love being in the kitchen with you. I love cooking with you. I love having conversations with you. We turn on K-Love and we just sing and we dance. Those are the moments I don't want to miss. And I want to remember them forever, and I want them to remember them forever. So what are some moments and some opportunities that you can take for you and your family right now? Is it inviting them into the kitchen and saying, you know what? I'm going to cut up, we need cucumbers cut up or carrots cut up or avocados or whatever. And maybe you may have to show them how to do it at first because they may not know. So show them. And it may take a little bit longer at first, but then eventually you'll be able to say, hey guys, come help me make dinner. Here are the carrots that I need cut up. Here's the avocado that I need cut up. One step at a time. Or maybe it's a puzzle that's on the dining room table and you say, hey guys, come on, let's work on the puzzle for a few minutes. And sometimes if you sit down at that puzzle and no one else is around, they're probably going to come find you, right? Be the model. Show them. Read for fun. Show them that you enjoy reading and that, we want to encourage them to read. Say, hey, you know what? It's quiet time. Let's sit down for 15 minutes and let's all read. What book are you guys going to read? I'm going to read this book. What are you guys going to read? Or pick a book and read it together. I know they're getting older, but there's so many things that you guys can still learn. I just taught all about butterflies in my Little Learners class this summer, and there's still so many facts that I'm like, whoa, I didn't know that. So there's so many things that you can still be learning and teaching them, and it doesn't have to feel like school. One year, we learned all about the rainforest. I found a chapter book. I found picture books. And this was when they were a little younger, but they took all of their animals and they created a whole, not a rainforest. Well, yeah, we did the rainforest too. They created a whole rainforest scene. And then there was another year I did a safari scene. So it's those little things. Getting outside, going for a walk together. We just recently got bikes from our neighbor and the kids were ecstatic that we can all go bike riding together now. Those little things, those are the moments and the memories. When you go to the pool, play, get in the water. They said, because I asked them and they said, well, we can play Marco Polo. And I was like, oh, that means I have to get under the water. But that's okay. If that's what they want to do, I will do it. If you want to have a jumping contest, if you want to dive, just do it. Have fun with your kids. That's what they want. That's what they're going to remember. So I would love to know, what are some of those activities that you are going to do with your kids this summer? Take it back to a 90s summer, right? Everyone's been saying it. Let's go back to a 90s summer. Let's get outside. Let's do the slip and slide. Let's throw whatever that looks like. Build a fort, build a tree house. I don't know. What did we do in the 90s? We just played. We didn't have social media. We didn't have as many video games. We just played outside. And I know here in Georgia, it is hot during the day. So what are you going to do during the day, and how are you going to play outside maybe in the evening? Still, we need to get some outside time in, get that fresh air, all the fun there. So I want to know what you're doing with your kids this summer. I also want to know, what are some blocks that you may have? I want to hear. It all sounds like, oh yeah, Christine, that all sounds easy. But what if you're like, how do I get my kids off the video games? They're addicted. What if my kids don't like any activities? They don't like to craft. They don't like to come in the kitchen and help me. I always have an attitude problem. I want to know that too. I want you to fill out the form in the show notes below, and let's talk about how we can start to turn that around, how we can really start to bring peace and ease and joy back into your home. So then that way there are memories instead of chaos. All right, friends, don't forget, join the Facebook group, Home Education with Ease, and just let's talk. Let's get connected. All of the links are in the show notes below. And I just hope that you have the best summer. And remember to see each moment as a chance to learn, create, and have fun. Thank you for tuning in to the Home Education with Ease podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling empowered and ready to take the next steps on your home education journey. Your support means the world to me. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share with a friend. For even more resources, be sure to join the free Facebook group, Home Education with Ease, and visit eduplaylearning.com to explore our programs and subscription kits. You can find the links and any other links mentioned in this episode in the show notes below. Remember, you're not alone. This community is here to support you every step of the way.